Hey guys, I'm Andrei, a certified translator and a real estate concierge. My company is relocating people to Belarus over the last 3 years. And today we are going into the final venture of our project, buying an apartment in Vitebsk. Today is the deal, so when you're seeing this video, the secrets will no longer be secret. And the fact that we're transporting some 30,000 in cash, in rubles of course, will no longer be a very heavily guarded secret. Behind the scenes, so to speak, the last video was over with us choosing the very last final option based on the pros and cons that we jotted down. And this was the place with an existing tenant, which is really good, handy, because the man is not going to live in this place, but is not either gambling with the state by buying some bullshit village house where he is not supposed to live, or he is not meaning to build a summer house in future. We're going serious, we're shopping serious, so this is how it's going to work. A few days ago we left Vitebsk, leaving a deposit on the table. I have a video about the deposit deal. Generally they stop selling, we stop shopping, we put the money on the table to reserve this situation until we come back with the deal money, and we sign the deal in a few days or in a few weeks, depending on how payment is going to work out. In our situation, it's going to be very simple. It's going to be cash across the table, in rubles, of course. All the settlements in the country are officially done in Belarusian rubles, so the rubles are on the table today, and it's going to be exciting, I guess. As always, with amounts of money over 10,000 involved, I always recommend my clients to have a background check of their property. But depending on the case, people may be a bit more frivolous and a bit more risk-oriented. So in this case, the client did not stipulate a background check through an agency. And to be honest, as we asked around, the agencies in Vitebsk are kind of dismissing any potential issues with the property, saying, oh, it's our friend, it's our buddy, we really don't need any checks or anything, which is not the most professional way to put it, but I'll leave it to the professionals of the real estate to judge about this. Point is, I laid the offer on the table to my client. It's not just about he is underfinanced, it's not the case. It's about a week or so, which is not guaranteed. It could be longer to collect all the papers. It's not there. He has to leave and come back on a property-based visa and apply for his residency now that his tourist visa is about to come to an end. So that's a very inconvenient fact, and this is something my company will be working to correct, that the buyers are not coming on a tourist visa. The buyers are coming on a special visa, which can generally call it short-term visa, to make a purchase and stay and apply for their residency. So the scenario for today is quite simple and straightforward. At the same time, it's going to be full of different little steps. It's a 270-kilometer ride to Vitebsk in the first line. It's early morning. We're going to start in some 30 minutes. Transporting our cash without carrying the banner that we transport cash, although it's the safest of countries. It never hurts to be a bit cautious in this respect. Then to meet the owners at the apartment and to sign the acceptance act for the furniture pieces that stay. The agency is going to be there too, check the meters if everything has been paid for, and then proceed to the deal. The deal itself is broken into two parts, which is the local way of doing it. Normally we just go to the land office, officially known as cadastre agency. It has a longer official name, but I'll put it here. So things there will be quite technical. I'll be translating because I'm an official translator, indispensable in the deals where foreigners are involved. The notary will certify the deal between the seller who is selling and my buyer who is buying. I'm on my buyer's side, of course, fully, not just as a translator, but mostly as a translator. And we will all proceed to the land office, cadastre agency, to certify the deal, to finalize and register the transition of the ownership. And from today on, the guy will be the full owner of his place, his flat in Belarus. Last but not least, after the deal has been signed and we'll walk out with the title, we'll have to expedite the utility contracts, because through the day, which is going to be a nice, hot, very hot Monday, we'll have to contract 3 different utility services and register that with the local utility company. They're all state companies, of course, but they're called this way. And basically this will be it. What remains is to legalize the relationship with the tenant and get a new contract signed, but maybe we'll have a different video on that account. Generally, contracts with tenants take about 3 days to get certified by the local council, essentially, be that city or district or village council, district rather than city. And that time my client doesn't have, so he might or might not opt to leave a power of attorney in my hands to take care of the property. It's something I'm doing on a separate note, as a translator, of course. And that's something that we may also shoot an additional video about soon. So in a fairly simple deal, there are at least 4 sensitive points that one has to take care of, pay attention to. In the first line, the choice of the flat and fairly global factors that may be hushed over or hushed down by the sellers, not advertised, like capital improvement coming and something like this. Second is the way of settlements. The money is fairly sensitive, and last week my client has been battling with the ATMs because the bank transfer got stuck, and he collected the necessary amount. So the registration procedure as well, and the background check of the property, the questions about the place being ready or not being ready, the the check of the property with the data that only a real estate agency could access and analyze through realtors. I'm not a realtor. And the 4 of them may be a combination to a successful deal, as long as you know they're in place and as long as you have a capable assistant on your side. So my message is simple: shop wisely, pick professionals for your shopping venture, and best of luck in Belarus. Hopefully see you at some point in Minsk. Cheers. It would have been an interesting thing to document the steps that we're taking today, and maybe I'll inject a few pictures here and there as we go from an office to an office, maybe with a comment, but it's going to be hard because there's a lot of secrecy around this Private Data Act. There are people who are occupied being secretive and keeping their stuff to themselves, for which they have right. So there'll be $30,000 in rubles, which has to be counted and verified, basically. All this, unfortunately, will make people very excited if I produce a GoPro and start taking juicy shots. So we'll just inject some comments where possible and maybe some pictures where manageable. Since my client is actually from India, which is unusual for me, but not necessarily undoable, he's a pleasant chap. I told you he is trying hard to be not like most of the Indians who are, let's say, traveling here and there and trying to buy or sell something. He is trying to be organized to the point. I'll explain these things in my separate message. I'll be releasing a video about Indians shopping in Belarus for real estate, about some operators that may not be the best ones, without clearly pointing somewhere, of course, and we'll give you some ideas to go on in your plan to relocate to Belarus or in your plan to invest into the real estate here in Belarus.